Welcome to the 6th anniversary KVK Rewind. Join us as we embark on a thrilling journey through the most epic KVKs of the past year. From relentless battles in Kingsland to the intense diplomatic negotiations that shaped their outcomes. Relive these legendary moments as we highlight the triumphs and defeats of many great kingdoms. Let's kick things off by diving into one of the last major KVKs of the year. This 8 Imperium showdown featured the long-awaited clash between Osiris League rivals 60 GT and 1V. After months of anticipation, Kingdoms 1960 and 1034 registered together to settle their rivalry, drawing in 6 other powerful Imperiums. The first zone was tense but quiet until the next passes opened, unleashing the full fury of the Kingdoms. On one side, King Leopard's 960 battled against 1034 and 2268, while 1671 held the line against 2891 and 875. As the final passes before Kingsland opened, the battle intensified, with all 8 kingdoms converging in the right-hand zone. Despite entering Kingsland with fewer passes, the trio around 1960 pushed their enemies out, securing Kingsland and a decisive victory. Now let's explore a feud that turned friends into foes. Kingdoms 1875 and 2429 found themselves on opposite sides of a brutal conflict. Led by King Bo Talal, 2429 joined forces with the 1903's Water Camp, while 1875, under King Abu Hind, allied with 2268's Earth Camp. As Pass 4 unlocked, intense battles erupted between the camps, showcasing each side's power. Despite the conflict, the fighting eventually settled, with both sides conserving their resources for the ultimate Kingsland confrontation. When Kingsland opened, the war reached its peak. 2429 and 875 clashed directly, with 2268's camp battling 903 and their allies. After a long and grueling fight, 2429 and Water Camp gradually pushed their powerful enemies out, securing a hard-fought and emotional victory. Next, a heated free-for-all where former allies became bitter opponents. Kingdoms 1960 and 1093 found themselves this time on opposing sides in a chaotic battle. The map was set with 960, 93, 2605, and a coalition of 3 camps each with 4 kingdoms. The initial zone was a battlefield from the start, with GT clashing against SW. Although 960's dominance was clear, SW mounted a strong defense, continuing the fight into the next zone with innovative garrison combinations like Gorgo and Attila. Meanwhile, 93 fought through the other camps, securing 4 of the 6 Kingsland passes. With 2605 pushed out of the zone, the stage was set for an epic confrontation at Pass 7 between 960 and 93. This clash ended in a stalemate, leading to an unforgettable battle in Kingsland. Despite facing a significant numerical disadvantage, 1960 held strong for 6 days, with the other camps also applying pressure to both sides. However, in the end, 1093, led by the determined King Silent Flow, secured the final parts of Kingsland, claimed the Great Ziggurat, and handed 60 GT its first and only KVK defeat in history. Now we turn our attention to a battle that reignited one of the most intense conflicts in the past year. Kingdoms 1960 and 1093 faced off once again, this time with a broader alliance of kingdoms. The battle began swiftly, with Water and Greenwood clashing in the initial zone. However, the conflict soon escalated into a full-scale war. While 1188 and their allies dominated the bottom zone, the top zone reached a stalemate, with both Fire and Earth camps defending their positions fiercely. When the Kingsland passes opened, 2489's side gained an early advantage with a strong territorial flag-building strategy. Despite intense pressure, 93 and its allies fought valiantly until the very end. But ultimately, 489, led by King Arvix and 60 GT under King Seawill, managed to overpower their opponents, securing Kingsland in a great victory. Next, we witnessed the dominance of Kingdom 1365 as they faced off against challenging opponents. Led by King Save, 1365 allied with 1903's Water Camp to take on 1606's Wind and 1862's Earth Camp. As the first passes were unlocked, 1365 quickly asserted control, overpowering Earth, while 606 engaged in intense battles against water. When Kingsland began, 1365 launched a full-force attack. Although 1606 put up a brilliant defense, 1365's JST and INT's overwhelming strength proved unstoppable. Alongside their allies, they burned their enemies out of Kingsland and secured a decisive victory. Another intense showdown unfolded as Kingdom 1606 and 2359 led their alliances into battle. The anticipation was high as both sides prepared for the confrontation. In the first zone, 606's IN faced off against water, while 2359's camp clashed with Earth. As the battle progressed, the strongest camps asserted their dominance, setting the stage for an unpredictable Kingsland showdown. Still, under the leadership of King Akina, 1606 demonstrated strategic brilliance, overwhelming their opponents in Kingsland and securing yet another epic victory. Finally, we reached the last major KVK of the year, a fierce showdown between powerhouses 2377 and 2429. This was their second confrontation of the year, following 2377's victory in May, which only intensified the rivalry. 2429, bolstered by their allies, seemed to have the upper hand early on. While the early zones were calm, Kingsland proved unforgettable. Over 4 intense days, both sides threw everything they had into the battle. At one point, 2429 and their allies controlled over 70% of Kingsland's territory. Yet 2377's GV, led by King Shark, mounted a fierce defense that shifted the momentum. In a dramatic comeback, 2377 drove their enemies out of Kingsland, securing a memorable and hard-fought victory. These epic confrontations have defined the year in KVK, showcasing the unwavering determination, strategic brilliance, and fierce rivalries that make this game so captivating. As we look back on these unforgettable battles, we can only imagine what the next year will bring. Until then, may your alliances be strong and your victories even sweeter.